Merry Christmas Eve, happy first day of Hanukkah, and thank you for choosing to spend them with us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, a 2-alarm fire in the Oneiko portion of Manatee County Fire trying to contain the multiple building blaze. It happened today around 2 this afternoon near 15th Street and 57th Avenue East in Bradenton. Smoke spreading nearly a mile as crews worked to contain the flames that had engulfed abandoned buildings, including a for-sale flea market. Officials believe the buildings were being used by squatters. Drivers going by the scene who used to shop at the flea market say they are used to seeing they are sad to see the building go.
We had to put probably several lines into play, probably 3 or 4 or 5, just to get a handle on it to stop it from stretching, spreading off to the south and to the east and west. It was quite a battle.
At this time, no fatalities or injuries have been reported, and the fire has since been contained. An armed robbery in Bradenton has deputies looking for 4 suspects after 2 men say they were ambushed getting out of their car. It happened at 7:30 Saturday night on the 13th Street East in front of one of the victims' homes. 4 unidentified men rushed the car, pointing guns at the victims before allegedly hitting them, taking their belongings, and then running from the scene. The 2 men were taken to the hospital to treat their injuries. If you have any information on this incident, you are asked to call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers at the number listed on your screen. Well, it seems like each year holiday displays become more and more elaborate, but every now and then the story behind the light shines a little brighter. ABC 7's Kate Flexter has one of those stories for us now on this Christmas Eve.
There are a lot of impressive displays to check out all around the Suncoast, but for the man behind these lights, this is a bit of a passion project. 90,000 lights and 4 miles of wire.
It just comes together.
At 74, Chuck Pearson is all about the details.
I guess it depends on whether you're talking about Christmas lights or keeping a neat desk.
At least when it comes to Christmas lights.
If there happens to be some lights that aren't programmed right, then it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
His fascination with lights started as a young boy when he visited Wanamaker's department store in Philadelphia and saw the display advertised as the tree with a million lights.
As a child, I'd never seen anything like that before, and it looked to me not terribly complicated.
He began tinkering with his family Christmas tree, and years later designing his own display, first at his home and eventually at Grace Baptist Church. That's where it became a bit of a neighborhood fixture.
I was dumbfounded.
And it's really pretty and how much work they put into it.
This is the 3rd year in a row that I've been out for it, and actually the 3rd time in 3 weeks that we've been out.
Just as regular as the guests is his band of loyal volunteers. Chuck has been bound to a wheelchair for 48 years.
Of course, we're his hands and legs, and he keeps us going. He can move in that wheelchair faster than we can walk.
They may be his hands and legs, but he's the eyes and vision. And while the glow of the lights is enchanting, for him it's all about a different kind of glow.
Well, that's what it's all about, and it brings joy. The whole meaning of the season is the joy at this time of the year.
These lights run through Christmas Day, but for a full list of other displays to check out in the area, visit mysuncoast.com. For now in Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And believe it or not, that particular lighting display actually used to be even larger with 450,000 lights. They've been keeping on that tradition for 20 years. Well, the closest thing you're going to get to a white Christmas is down on Siesta Key. Let's head over to Wendy Ross for a check on this holiday weather. Wendy?
Do you realize that in 1989 it was snowing here, Adam? We actually had snow. I can remember my children trying to make little snowmen. They were that big because there was just very, very little that stuck to the ground. And right now we're looking looking at 71 degrees. Can you believe how warm it is out there? Our humidity is high. The winds are coming in out of the east at around 10 miles per hour. And for the most part, the clouds have finally moved on out, and we are looking at partly cloudy skies across the region. We've had a couple of raindrops come on through, widely scattered light rains, and most of that has now moved on out into the Gulf of Mexico. We may see some fog moving on in after midnight tonight and lingering through the morning hours, but this is what we can expect over the overnight period. We're going to see our temperatures dropping down into the mid-60s before they start the rise back up tomorrow, and we'll let you know what's going to come for tomorrow and the rest of this work week coming up. That's coming up in just a minute. Adam?
All right, thank you, Wendy. In Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu leading the country today in celebrating Hanukkah. Netanyahu lighting the first candle on the menorah to honor the first night of Hanukkah, and those celebrating locally share their traditions for the 8-day celebration, including family and friends, games, and good food. Hanukkah ends on January 1st. And if you don't feel like cooking this holiday, or maybe that turkey didn't turn out so good, a few Suncoast restaurants will still be open. Today we spoke with the manager over at the Drunken Poet in downtown Sarasota, who says they've been open on Christmas Day for years because of the high demand. And for a complete list of those restaurants open on Christmas Day, you can visit our website, mysuncoast.com. Well, still to come here on ABC 7, what holiday traditions do you celebrate? We spoke to families on the Suncoast about what they do with their family every year, and the holiday crunch, and what you can do for those last-minute gifts. Those stories and more when we return.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
We can experience the world without ever leaving the Suncoast. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we bring you the international flavor of our area. We found award-winning rum flavors at Drum Circle Distilling. Plus, we try unusual instruments from Australia to Switzerland. Plus, ballet lessons, Cuban style and Russian, and the best peanut butter dishes on the Suncoast.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Eric Schrock.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Attention breast cancer survivors. If you experience permanent hair loss or baldness after chemotherapy, you may qualify for a cash award. Thousands of women suffering breast cancer were given a chemotherapy drug without being warned about the possibility of irreversible alopecia. If you or a loved one suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy, call 888-622-8732. Time to file a claim is limited. 888-622-8732. That's 888-622-8732.
This holiday season, give the greatest gifts of all, performance and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALT has named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now during the Subaru Share the Love event, you can lease a new Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter mile north of University Parkway.
Well, it's Christmas Eve, but many folks around the country are braving nasty storms to get to their destination, while others are rushing to finish their holiday shopping. ABC's Ariel Reshef has more.
Over the river and through the woods to a commuting mess we go. Winter alerts from Michigan to California. Drivers forced to battle snow, ice, even blizzard-like conditions. More than 70 million in the path of the storm.
A lot of weather, a lot of accidents.
The Grapevine Mountain Pass north of Los Angeles was closed for several hours due to snow and ice, while LAX is still reeling from delays due to rain, heavy crowds, and runway construction. In Arizona, along I-10, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts kicking up dust. One area in the storm's path, Kansas. But on Christmas Eve, another element for folks to brave, the mall.
It's crazy. I will not come back the day before Christmas ever.
Last-minute procrastinators flocking to this shopping center outside Kansas City.
Hello and welcome to our magical Disney store.
Bargain hunters getting creative in hopes of finding the perfect gift.
We wear these outfits as a strategic way so that way when people walk by, they're too distracted by our outfits to notice that we're taking all the good stuff.
Some deals 40 to 50% off. And if you're still looking for that special something, you don't have to live near a big city. Gift cards and subscription services are great options with big payoffs.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
And those of you dreaming of a white Christmas, you may want to pay close attention to that video. Me personally, I'm happy right here in Florida. Well, the holiday shopping season is losing some of its power in this year's sales. According to The Real Economist, November and December now account for less than 21% of annual retail sales. That is 4% less than peak years and about $70 billion lower. And experts predict sales will keep dropping during this time of year as people are shopping more and more all year long for the holidays because of heavy discounts available throughout the year. And for those celebrating Christmas, you're probably getting ready for Santa's arrival. Families around the Sun Coast making those last-minute preparations and celebrating their own Christmas traditions. We spoke with a few people about what exactly those traditions may be.
Typically we do service on Sunday.
Like go down to Lakewood Ranch Cinemas and go see a movie, usually at some point.
We do make cookies. My wife is a very big baker. She loves baking cookies, huh? Yeah.
We look at all the Christmas lights, Christmas Eve, and then we make Christmas cookies with all the family.
Cellini family traditions, Grandma Cellini's pastel cookies, along with Mom's sauce recipe, which we enjoyed right here at the station earlier tonight. Well, holiday terror warnings are out as millions attend church services across the country. ISIS threatening religious sites in the U.S., and we're also learning more about what other places could be at risk. ABC's Gloria Riviera reports.
The country's top counter-terror teams announcing that ISIS is calling for supporters to target houses of worship across the U.S.
Even a person with no direct ties to a terrorist organization can still represent a threat to this country.
The FBI and Homeland Security have not identified any specific plot at the moment, but they are urging police to remain vigilant during this holiday season. On December 21st, ISIS published a link to a website containing the names and addresses of American churches and called on supporters to attack them.
Things have changed and we live in a different world, and you have to always be prepared.
Cities like New York and Boston have been on high alert since the deadly truck attack in Berlin last week, which targeted a Christmas market.
I'm sure that the police will be more in evidence and carefully monitoring.
The new alert points out that the link elicited more posts urging ISIS sympathizers to carry out so-called aspirational attacks in markets, hotels, coffee shops, and more. Not just in the U.S., but also Canada, France, and the Netherlands, reminiscent of the Berlin attack.
One of the most significant threats facing this country today comes from people who are inspired by terrorist ideologies but operate independent of a terrorist organization.
Berlin driver Anis Amri died in a shootout with police in Milan Friday after several days on the run. Berlin officials say his smartphone, wallet, and ID were found in the truck. They also confirm Amri's connection to an ISIS recruiter. Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington.
And Tunisian officials announcing they have arrested 3 people, including Amri's nephew. U.S. counterterrorist officials caution ISIS supporters have released similar hit lists in the past, but none have resulted in a successful attack. More backlash against the United States today after allowing a UN resolution against Israel to pass unopposed on Friday. Breaking tradition, the Obama administration chose not to veto this latest resolution condemning Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank. Now Israel's prime minister says they will reevaluate relations with the United Nations and that he is looking forward to working with President-elect Donald Trump. Trump, of course, also breaking tradition yesterday, tweeting out his disapproval of the current administration's decision not to veto. President-elect Donald Trump also announcing plans to dissolve his controversial foundation. He says the Trump Foundation has done good work contributing money to veterans, law enforcement, and children, but he says he still wants to dissolve it to avoid even the appearance of a conflict of interest. The foundation has been criticized for reportedly funneling its money to settle legal disputes, and according to a recent tax filing, it admitted that it violated IRS rules by giving money to someone close to the organization. The foundation is also currently under investigation by the New York State Attorney General. Meanwhile, one of Donald Trump's senior communications staffers says he will not take the job of White House communications director after all. Jason Miller announcing that he has declined the role so that he can spend more time with his family. A new report claims that no other state deprives its citizens of the right to vote more than Florida. It's due to a voting ban for people with past felony convictions. According to the Brennan Center for Justice, 1.6 million people have lost their right to vote in Florida. Floridians with felonies on their record can only get their voting rights restored after waiting 5 to 7 years and submitting an application to the governor's office. The governor and the cabinet can then decide whether to approve the application or not. Some in the St. Pete community are grumbling about whether there is a need for a new pier after hearing how much it could cost. But St. Petersburg's Mayor Rick Kreisman says not rebuilding the landmark pier would cost the city $35 million. Officials say that's because the city issued 2 series of bonds, one worth $40 million for the pier and the other $20 million for a beach approach. They say the bond money must be used for the plans for which they were intended. Sand will also be added to beaches along Florida's Space Coast to restore areas eroded by Hurricane Matthew in October. Florida Today reporting that 6 truckloads of debris were removed from 14 miles of Brevard County beaches following the storm. County officials are working to make sure that the project is complete before sea turtle nesting season begins. State and federal funding will make up most of the project's estimated $4.1 million cost. Space Coast's Office of Tourism Executive Director Eric Garvey says the beach renourishment will help protect buildings, infrastructure, and habitat. And back in Sarasota, one man is continuing his fight for awareness to reopen Beach Road, but today adding a holiday twist. Mike Cosentino placing a tree on the pier at Sunset Point tonight and hosting some sunset Christmas carols.
Just wanted to spread the Christmas cheer and have some folks out. Met some wonderful young ladies singing Christmas carols in the village the other night and asked if they would come out and grace us with their presence.
In May, county commissioners voted in favor of vacating the county's right to the road, but Cosentino says the beach should be public, advocating to reopen the road so that people can continue to enjoy the beachside driving. And anytime you have a campaign, a sunset on Siesta Key certainly can't hurt, right?
That never hurts. You know, if you squint your eyes just a little bit and look at the white sand, you can maybe imagine it's
You can
snow.
pretend.
You can pretend
That
it's snow.
Yeah.
I would have melted real fast today, though. Oh, my goodness. And we do have to tell you that Adam Cellini's sauce is fabulous.
It's technically Lisa Cellini sauce.
Pretty darn good.
I did my best
Pretty
reinterpretation.
Darn good. Well, you won. You won. You won the award. It was great.
Glad you
I don't
liked
think
it.
there's anything left.
Well, there better not be. I'd be
Scraped
insulted.
the pan right out.
There was.
I'll tell you what, that was good stuff.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for sharing.
You guys earned it.
Thank you for sharing. Well, we are looking at a daytime high today that came in at 85 degrees. And you can see that back in 2015 on this date, we had a high of 85. So even though it didn't break the record, it tied the record for today's high temperature. Take a look at the low temperature that was set back in the 1980s. 27 degrees. In 1989, on this date, it did snow. I was here. My little children, I sent them outside. They had never seen snow before. And so there it was, snowing in Sarasota. It was just enough to barely stick on the ground. I remember it well. 61 degrees was our overnight low last night. We'll see our temperatures even warmer tonight. 71 degrees right now at 66 degrees dew point. And our humidity is moving on up. The winds are coming in out of the east at around 10 miles per hour. We have fair skies right now, but we could see some clouds starting to move in after around 3 o'clock this morning. We'll even get some fog very likely. And you can see temperatures over the northern part of the state in the 50s in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. But as you head on down to the south, things are nice and warm there right now, 76 degrees in Key West. For our area, we're starting to see a few more 60s pop up, especially well inland. But at the beaches, temperatures are mostly in the low 70s, and this is true just about everywhere you look. If you're not in the 60s, you're in the low 70s right now across west central Florida. So we've seen the showers developing along the east coast, and they've been making their way across the state throughout the day, but they've been very widely scattered. Some light rains that have come on in, and most of those showers have now made an exit, and they're moving out into the Gulf of Mexico. If we should get a passing shower at all tomorrow, it will be less than a 10% chance, and it will be very much like it was today, just an occasional one that will come on through, and it won't provide much in the way of rainfall totals for us. We are looking at warm temperatures once again tomorrow. We saw them today with our highs back up into the mid-80s, and we could see the same thing developing for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we're going to get the warm temperatures. They could be very close to record highs with a low rain chance. And then we're also going to be seeing some cooler weather coming on in with the next cold front next weekend. This is what it's going to look like over the next couple of days. We've got temperatures in the mid-80s through Monday. Then we start to see generally things cooling down. By Friday, another cold front comes in, temperature high of 69 degrees. Adam?
A must-win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in New Orleans. Sports is coming up next.
It's been an emotional time politically and socially this year.
But during a season when hearts are a little more open to love, we want to talk about good things to believe in.
We believe in compassion and caring.
We believe diversity makes our community stronger.
We believe we can all weather the storm by sticking together.
We believe in finding the facts before taking a stance.
We hope you believe too.
Happy holidays from ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
I'm Alan Cohn. From homeless to housing, the Salvation Army's Quality of Life program has helped get hundreds off the streets. Find out how they're doing it.
Monday on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Holiday scratch-offs are here, and oh, they make great surprises. Imagine the joy they will bring. With over $126 million in prizes, use them for a wreath or a place card for your feast. Attach them, scratch them, and let the magic happen. Holiday scratch-offs. The Florida Lottery has them. Just imagine.
Only Fiat gives you Italian engineering with a heavy dose of Suncoast style. So what are you waiting for? Hurry in for big savings during the Big Finish event going on now at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken XARELTO or PRADAXA. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication XARELTO or PRADAXA and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. XARELTO and PRADAXA have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking XARELTO or PRADAXA, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of XARELTO or PRADAXA who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Now, sports.
Lots of Saturday NFL action this Christmas Eve. We start with the Buccaneers in a fight for their playoff lives. The Bucs must essentially win out these next two games and hope someone else loses in order to reach the postseason, taking on the New Orleans Saints on the road. Today, a team they beat just 2 weeks ago. Second quarter, down 7, Winston hitting Cameron Brate, who fights in for a touchdown. Brate really in a breakout year for the Bucs. And after a couple of field goals, Mark Ingram gashing this Bucs D with a 14-yard run puts New Orleans up 13. Down 14 in the third, Winston able to buy some time and heave one downfield for Mike Evans. Evans, first touchdown catch in 3 games, 10 on the season. Tampa Bay back within 7. Now New Orleans manages a field goal, and on the next drive, picked off. Jameis Winston throws one to Jarius Byrd with Byrd's second interception of the game. The Bucs end up losing 31-24, and the Atlanta Falcons won today, which means they clinch the division, and that playoff window looking more like a keyhole following the loss today. In Buffalo, the Miami Dolphins also trying to hang on to that wild card playoff spot. Quarterback Matt Moore had a career game last week, getting a little help from Devontae Parker in this one, 51 yards after the catch to put the Dolphins up 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. But the Bills come all the way back in this game. Tyrod Taylor hitting Charles Clay to put Buffalo on top with less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. The Finns get a field goal to send it into overtime, and in overtime, Dan Carpenter from 45 yards out wide right. Miami drives the ball the other way, and Andrew Franks does not miss the 27-yard chip shot. He wins it in overtime for Miami, 34-31 your final, and here's Matt Moore after the win.
We've won a couple close games, which is big. You know, it's always hard to fall on the other end of a game like this, and so to be on the right side is it's good.
In Cleveland, a Christmas miracle today. The Browns picking up their first win in 376 days. That's more than a year. After an 0-14 start to the season, the Browns defeating the San Diego Chargers 20-17 in front of their home crowd. The victory preserved by a blocked field goal with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Players describe the relief of overcoming a winless season afterwards.
For us older guys that have been in this a long time, and you know, we don't know how many years we have left, it feels good to avoid that.
To put this drought into perspective, 2 Star Wars movies have been released since the Browns last won a regular season game. And tomorrow, the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors will meet for the first time since Game 7 of the NBA Finals. That game, the Cavs won, completing a historic comeback to win their first championship in team history and first for the city in more than 60 years. Both teams currently leading the Eastern and Western conferences respectively. Today, they talked about the budding rivalry between the franchises.
Obviously, we know the history between the Celtics and the Lakers of the 80s and how many times they face one another, so only time will tell with us.
It's kind of one of those rivalries that's kind of grown, you know, over the course of the last couple of years. You know, it's always a fun game to play in, so definitely excited.
The Cavaliers are undefeated at home on Christmas Day. Tip-off is at 2:30 p.m. right here on ABC. Scary moment last night for one NFL team, the team playing for the Minnesota Vikings going off the runway at Appleton International Airport in Wisconsin. The team's official Twitter account reporting that while taxiing after a safe landing, the plane slid off the runway and got stuck in the grass. Players had to wait hours to finally get off the aircraft via a platform truck. The incident certainly did not help their effort today. They lost to the Packers by nearly 20 points. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a CRV for $219 during Wild's final clearance. Just $219 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda, Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Kimberly King.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Florida Studio Theater presents Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, celebrating fierce women with fierce vocals from the 70s through today. Featuring songs by performers such as Cher, Tina Turner, and Reba McEntire. Don't miss what critics are saying is a lively, high-energy driving review with powerhouse singers. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
The year is winding down, and that means big savings for you during the Big Finish event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Take home a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Or stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Renegade for just $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Using baby powder or talc may lead to ovarian cancer. $72 million was awarded in a recent talc lawsuit after lawyers found secret internal documents showing that the baby powder manufacturer knew about the link between talcum powder and ovarian cancer for decades but never told the public. If you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using talcum powder on a regular basis, you may qualify for a cash award. Call 800-793-6621. 800-793-6621.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a Civic for $179 during Wild's final clearance. Just $179 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda, Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Welcome back. Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary hosting a live nativity in Sarasota today. It included the likes of actors, camels, donkeys, and goats. The stars of the show, the baby goats. In a Christmas miracle, 17 baby goats were born just in time to star in this nativity.
We've had a lot more people out here. The cooler weather is great because it's more comfortable to be walking around. Plus, we have so many people in town now for the holiday.
Big Cat Habitat's president says they try to do the live nativity every year. And there are no days off for law enforcement, and tonight the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office night shift wanted to wish everyone in Sarasota County and all over the world Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Feliz Navidad y próspero año. Buon Natale!
Kellemes karácsonyi ünnepeket és boldog új esztendőt kívánunk!
Sarasota County Night Shift would like to wish everyone a
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
And we thank you guys for putting in the time here on the holidays to keep us all safe here in Sarasota County. All law enforcement.
That is true. and have a great night tonight.
That's
we'll
right.
see you tomorrow.
Get to bed, kids, if you're not already.